So my problem is when guys don't go into a dark enough hell that they don't really ever have enough of a benchmark to look at and be like, oh, yes, I'm not where I want to be, but life is good. I've seen a lot of guys get very into self-development at a very young age. And they get into self-development at a young age and they never really lived. You know, I was overdosing on ecstasy and a giant eagle when I was 19, right? And those experiences, tripping balls on shrooms, me sitting down on the floor in front of the DVD player and somebody being like, and the DVD skipping, and they're like, Aaron, clean that off. And I like pull it out and I look at it and then I take it to the sink and I wash it like a dish and nobody says anything to me. And then they all just start like dying laughing.
That happened?
Yes.
Wow.
I was tripping balls and I looked at it. And like, I think I remember thinking for a second, like maybe my shirt would scratch it more. And then I like took it to the sink and put like soap and water on a sponge and washed this DVD and then like dried it off with paper towels and brought it back. And I wasn't laughing or smiling or anything. I mean, I just seriously was like doing this. And then they all just start like dying laughing. But you need to have these experiences of like almost overdosing on ecstasy, having unprotected sex with extremely questionable characters, you know, like almost getting DUIs, you know, that kind of stuff. It's like you need to experience all of that because if you don't go through hell enough, then like life never, you don't see how good life is. Imagine pulling somebody out of the Holocaust, right? You pull somebody out of a concentration camp after 5 years. Now you stick them in some like little shitty apartment and give them some food and water and shit. And they're just like, yes. They're just in bliss. Pure bliss. Because they're not getting fucking cattle prodded and burnt alive and like fucking tortured. So they're just in bliss. So my problem is when guys don't go into a dark enough hell that they don't really ever have enough of a benchmark to look at and be like, oh, yes, I'm not where I want to be, but life is good. And I talked about this on the Vaping at the Airport podcast. I might start vaping again, by the way. I'm sick of not vaping.
I feel like you do all this too by taking risks.
Yes.
Like you don't go out of your way to get hurt. Mm-hmm. You go out of your way to take risks.
Yeah. Take a fucking risk. Like that's the thing too, is nobody's taking risks. And a lot of it is because of their parents, you know. I knew some people that never really took risks because I think they always had like these very like they call it like tiger mom, like helicopter parents, just kind of like really floating around them at all times. Like, did you submit your applications to this college? What did you get on this last exam? Key club, you know, like chill parents living through their child.
Right.
You know, like, I'm gonna make my child everything I wasn't, give you the life you want, whatever. And so yeah, it's like not enough risk taking. And I talked about this on the last podcast. It's like if you don't go through some bad shit, then you have a harder time appreciating the good shit. And I talked about not comparing yourself to your desired future. And this is like one of my more profound concepts, I think. And I really like came up with it while I was talking to Hadia. She kind of like helped me with the concept. But it's like, if we look at like, we can look at fact, and fiction. Fact, and fiction. So, you know, in New Age, Eckhart Tolle, whatever, it's like nothing. I sat on a bench for 4 years in the freezing cold and recognized that nothing exists but the present moment. It's like the present moment is all that exists, but also like the past exists as well. It really does, whether you want to admit it or not. I fucking in the past put that couch there. The couch is still there. So we have the remnants of the past. We have evidence of the past. What do we not have any evidence? And we have evidence of the future. Here we are. And in the past, I put the couch there, but there is no evidence of the future. Nothing. So fact is the past. Present is the fact, and then the future is fiction. So I think what happens is a lot of people look at what they want in life, what they want to be, what they think they're going to be, and it'll actually cause a lot of pain in their present life because they're so far away from that, right? So so now you're just comparing fact to fiction. It doesn't even exist. Then I say, how about you compare yourself to two facts, your present and your past? And now ideally there's been a large gap. Ideally there's been a lot of growth. There's been a lot of movement forward. But if there hasn't been, now that's where the issue comes into play. And really one of the best ways to, the people that are the most likely to have had a lot of like space and growth between the past and the present are the people that, like, if this is baseline, they at one point were down here. Fucking arrested for a DUI, your family fucking hates you. I'm down in the gutter, I'm about to go fucking homeless. And now even your baseline is like a major fucking upswing. It's major growth. And then ideally, you move up a little bit. And for everybody listening on iTunes and Spotify, watch this on YouTube. I make great hand gestures. I'm giving you graphs with my hands.
I've been enthralled by these, enamored, just totally distracted and in the zone watching your hand gestures.
Yes, I'm giving graphs with my hands. So the point is it's like if you really go through it, and you're right, taking risks, going to a college that maybe is not the best college for you, moving away. You know how many people just don't move? They just don't move. You didn't move.
Well, yeah.
Nobody moves. You don't move. And then eventually where you are, my old boss, Mike Hignett, who I'm going to hit him up. I'm going to hit him up immediately and get him on this podcast. My old boss, Mike Hignett, I told him I was going to Kent State. And I said, dude, I'm like really nervous about going to Kent. And we're like molding pizza dough at Corleone's and Avon. And I'm like, I'm really nervous about going to Kent. He goes, why? And I'm like, just here, I just have so many friends. I work here. I love working here. Like, I fucking have people to party with. Like, I just love my life here. And he's like, listen, man. He's like, it's always great until it's not. Eventually, it just becomes not great. Who knows what would have happened? Oh, me and this guy aren't friends anymore. Those two people moved. This person moved on with their life. This one's married. They don't hang out with me anymore. The job gets boring. All of a sudden, why am I still in Grafton? Oh my God, what have I done? Right? It's like if you're not kind of just striving forward and having a North Star, that's an important question. We're going to sum up this podcast by asking you, like, what is your North Star?